Morning, Maria.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Yes, I think I can say I'm fine, but not at my best, but I'm fine.
Hey, always there's a place for a better. Yeah.
I don't know who is the user, but we have company. Oh. Good morning.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Good. That's I'm early, but I thought make sure it might work.
Yes, yes. Camera and audio, yes.
Okay.
Everything is fine.
Fine. So I'll put it on probably mute or something now. So
It's fine. Good morning, George.
Hello, good morning, Anna. Good morning, Antonio.
good morning.
Good morning, George. Good morning, Maria.
Good morning.
Who is there? There is somebody with the name of user. I don't know who that person is. Hello,
From
user. Who are
historic
you?
activities.
Well, anyway, good morning to all of you. And I hope we will have a good meeting today. So sorry, Anna. I don't know what happened with my...
Don't worry, Madalena. Don't worry about that. Yeah,
okay. I just panicked yesterday night when I saw that I didn't receive the invite. I said, oh my God, we didn't send the invite and these people are going to be very nervous. Yeah. So that's why I reacted. Okay. Oh, Adil is there. Good morning, Adil.
Hi, good morning, guys. How are you? Sorry, I can't see you properly. Some problems here.
I'm fine. What about yourself? How are you?
Pretty good. Just surviving the wave that's going on. Things have opened here in Dubai quite a lot, but in our sister city, which is Abu Dhabi, things are still under a lockdown.
Well, they have opened here in Madrid also, but I don't know what will happen because we already have problems in several areas of Madrid. So I don't know if we will go back to the type of, no, it's too early. It's too early to say, but for sure this is not over.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, people keep saying that there's a second wave coming, which is in October, September, October timeframe. So God knows what's going to happen.
I think it's not over even now. So we will see what happens.
Yeah, let's see.
So I don't know. We have somebody else, but I don't know who you are. Is this Tony?
Yes, it is.
Oh, it's Tony. Okay. Good morning, Tony. Thank you for being here.
Can't hear you, Tony. I think your mic is mute.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it's a good thing to mute your microphones.
So can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Good. Well,
Tony.
welcome. I'll mute again because otherwise you hear me sneezing or breathing or coughing or who knows what.
Yes, I know. I know. I have that experience also. But still, we have some minutes until people join. So, how are things in UK, Tony?
I think they're not too bad. I mean, they're releasing us from a lot of the lockdown. As far as I'm concerned, and my wife is concerned, we're being very cautious because we're both old. If you're young, I think a young person, probably the best thing is to catch it and then be immune. But you can't really say that. But some people are being quite careful, but I do see a lot of people, clustering together and taking no notice at all of anything. And who knows how it will work. But I mean, our neighbours, we've got nice neighbours, but they have all sorts of people in and out, and they don't take the slightest notice of this, I think. But there we are.
Well, anyway, I know of people who have been very cautious and nevertheless they got infected.
Yeah.
So
well, I mean, the big
Yeah.
inconvenience now, we're supposed to wear the masks all the time out of doors, or we're advised to. And, I wear spectacles, and if I have a mask on and I continue to breathe, then the spectacles fog up and I can't see very well. All sorts of silly things like that.
Yes, I have the same problem. But now I have learned how to adapt the mask to your nose, and then you don't have that fog coming into your spectacles.
Oh, I'm sure it's not a big problem for me, really. But there we are. So, well, we see how it goes. But I think that perhaps the biggest problem for the masks or people wearing masks is that you can't see the person's mouth or expression. And particularly for people who are a little bit hard of hearing, they rely on seeing the mouth and the movements to partly pick up the words.
Absolutely.
I'm not sure why we can't have masks that do the same thing but more somehow transparent. But who knows? They will find some ways, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, I think we are developing the technology. Somebody somewhere is trying to solve that, but who knows when it will be done.
Yeah. Well, if IEEE can't do it, we should say that nobody can.
Okay, I see Ljubko there. Welcome, Ljubko. And also Andreas Coltes.
Welcome all. Hi.
Welcome, Andreas. It's good to see you there. Slowly we are getting there. Ljubko, they say it's not good to smoke in this pandemic. So, and I see that you are still smoking.
Yes, I'm reducing it. these virtual events allow us to smoke during the events.
That's correct. You have the
To
freedom
eat
to do
the
that.
coffee break.
Yes. Yes. Oh, Victor is there. Hello, Victor. Welcome. Hi, Andreas. Now we have a good view of you, of yourself.
Great. Can you hear me?
Yes, very well. Let me ask something to Anna. Anna, I send you the four additional reports.
Yes, I saw, but I have the reports already, and I put it in the Google Drive too.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Stamatis join us now. Hello, Stamatis. How are you?
I'm
Fine. How are things in Greece?
Well, we had very few instances, but now that tourism is starting again and people start to coming, the cases increase. We had 100 the last 2 days, so we will see.
Oh, because people are visiting Greece, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's
That's the
hope for the best.
consequence. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Things in Spain control now, right?
Yes, they are in control, but you know, we have this problem that people will never be happy not to socialize as much as possible, and I don't know what happened. We have some new cases in Madrid, in senior residents. There have been some cases also in the north of the country. I don't know. They say that they are controlling everything, but we don't know. And Marius is now there, and he's trying to wear his earphones. Marius, we can see you. Costas.
Good morning.
Costas, good morning. It's good to see your face.
Yes.
Good to see
I'm sorry I'm not wearing a suit.
Yeah. So how are things there in Cyprus?
Very good, very good. Zero incidents for the past week, so it's very good.
That's remarkable.
Hello from me as well from Cyprus. Hello, guys.
Hi, Marius. I say hello when you were not yet wearing your earphone.
Yes, okay. Thank you.
Good morning. This is Abe joining in.
From Spain. I heard the update from Spain, though.
Yeah. Good morning, Suhaib.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning. So, if it's okay with you, we are going to wait for some more minutes and then start.
Yes.
Okay.
Mr. Adam.
Hi, everyone. Everyone looks good.
Yes.
Yes.
Nice paintings behind you.
Yes, I have been expelled from the study because I have son now here, and my wife is obviously working as well. So I'm using all kinds of places. This is part of a dining room.
Okay.
Hello, good morning.
Hello. How are you, Anna?
Fine, thank you. Fine.
How's your baby?
I'm not a baby anymore. He's running around. He's growing so fast. So
He's a
fine.
baby yet. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Like I'm the only one looking like. I feel embarrassed.
Stamatis.
Trying to change your professional.
Dora.
It's not a good choice now.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you. How are you?
We're okay. I think so far everybody who joined the meeting is saying that they are okay and everything is going slightly better or very much in most of the countries. So that's good.
Always the best for everyone.
Of course.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Matei.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
This is very good idea to see everybody.
Yes, of course, because we have not this possibility. So then we are taking advantage of nearly every day with everybody. So now we can speak together. We have a meeting similar to the one we are going to have with the section chairs, and it was really very nice to be able to all of them and to see them. So as I said, just 1 or 2 minutes before, I'm just giving people 2 more minutes to join, and then we will start. So feel free to speak while we are waiting for all of them to come. Vinko is there. And who else join us? Masik is there. Welcome. David, who is there? Welcome,
Hello.
David. Hi.
Hello, Vinko.
That you are not going to be able to join. So good to see you here. Vinko, you are outside the house. Good for you.
Yes, half is full.
Yeah. I don't know who is speaking now. So your audio is not very good, at least for me. I don't know for the rest. Are you
From
the rest of the people able to hear him properly?
Star Wars. He's from Star Wars.
Yes. Yeah, you look like if you were from Star Wars. At least your voice sounds like Star Wars.
Wow, the evening actually advantage.
Did not improve.
This sounds so real.
The force is not with him.
With the force, Albert.
Is it better now?
Yes.
Now it's better, much better. I think we are going to start. So welcome everybody. I'm going to go through, although I think I have been welcoming you when you were joining, but I will go through the list of people that are here right now, and later on, hopefully, when the rest join us, they will say hello and we will acknowledge that they are here. So Anna, of course, is here, Anna Madureira, and Adam, Neil, Sohaib, Antonio, and who else? And Masiek. So 7 OPCOM members out of the 8 we are here. Then I see Albert Lisco, chapters Ana Cigarran, Women in Engineering, Andreas Colters, the voluntary contribution fund is here. Christopher James, hello Christopher, I didn't acknowledge you before, so he's here. Costas for Sections Congress is here. David Lowe is also here. Dora, welcome. George, Michael, we cannot live without you, George, so thank you for being here. Our electronic communication will be a disaster without you and without Maria, who is also here. Leven Pichkalov, welcome. And Yurko, we also acknowledged you before. Mario, Matej is here. Stamatis is also here. And sorry, but I don't know who this user is. Who are you, user? I only see your name as user. Is Tony? I think it's Tony Davis. Then Victor is here also, and Vinco. So this is all for the moment being. And
John Funso is also here.
Who?
John Funso.
Oh, John. Sorry, I didn't see you. So welcome, John, to the meeting. So as I said, we had a similar meeting to the one we are going to have today. Last weekend, actually last Saturday, with the section chairs. And the reason we have called these two meetings, and we'll be calling more in the near future. Well, at this point, can I ask everybody else to mute your microphone so that we don't have the background noise that we are having right now, and then you can open your microphones later on whenever you're going to speak. But for the moment being, could you please mute your microphones, everybody? Thank you. So I was saying that the reason for this is that, well, we have been through a number of months without being able to have in a normal way our IEEE business. As you all know, what it is in our ADN in IEEE are face-to-face meetings. This is how we do networking, although of course we also have virtual meetings, but this was not new to us to have these virtual meetings. But mainly we work face to face, and this is what we enjoy, and how we know about each other, how we run business, essentially how we grow our membership, how we serve our membership. So after this month that we were unable to meet with not even a few of us, we are coming now to a situation in which everything is much more relaxed, and we're willing to talk to the section chairs now with you to launch a new, let's say, transient way of doing business. And I will give the floor later on to Antonio. Antonio will present what we have discussed at the Opcom level, which was first discussed within the strategic planning committee, and we came with some ideas to help going back to normality. Hello? I don't know who was speaking. Okay, so this is the idea, and I will just give the floor to Antonio for him to present to you what we thought could be helpful at this point in time. You have the floor, Antonio. I will mute my microphone now.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Magdalena. It's great to see all the faces here after so long time. It's really good that we are slowly starting to meet again. Yes, as Magdalena said, we wanted to share with you some ideas that we had and that we presented to the section chairs, and from them to other units in the region. Let's see if I can share my screen somehow. Let's check. Wait a minute, it is not working. Now, okay, you should be able to see my screen now. Is that correct?
Yes.
Good. Yeah, so I will briefly introduce this idea, and then we will have plenty of time for all of us to discuss exactly what to do and how to implement and what will be the next steps and so on. So we call this idea distributed meetings during these pandemic times, right? And a little bit of background here. So we all know that we were in the very bad situation of lockdown in most of the countries in the region, and there was no possibility of face-to-face meetings of any kind, right? Mostly in every country in the region and every country in the world as well, right? This was around March, April, May, and so on. During this time, we as a region, as well as the rest of IEEE, we moved to online events and having these activities organized to keep providing service to members, to keep reminding them that we are still valuable and that we can provide something to them even in these difficult times. Of course, it's not the same. Of course, things were different and not what we really wanted to do, but it was something, right? We did our best, and I'm really grateful to all the volunteers in the region and everywhere that help a lot during this. But even in that situation, things were different. Some things, because of IEEE itself, because we couldn't provide service, we couldn't provide events, conferences, and so on. And also due to the situation in general, outside of our hands, we saw that membership was declining since the start of the pandemic, and significantly so. I will show some numbers now, year over year, right? So we have now significantly less members that we had 1 year ago. And okay, that's how life is. But now we are already in June, end of June. Many countries already started to release us, to lift some of the confinement, the lockdown measures that were in place. And it's possible now in most of the countries in the region to allow some meetings, right? The small, let's say, gatherings of people. So, for example, in Spain, we can meet with 10 or 20 people, depending on where you live. Next week, we will be able to meet with more people, and we can go to a restaurant or have something like this, right? Of course, there is security measure, rules, additional rules that you have to follow, and this type of things. But some things are already allowed in most of the countries. This varies a lot from country to country within the region, but this is the general trend. And we can discuss specific cases if you want later. But in general, we are still not allowed to travel. That might change next week in Europe, at least, for the, let's say, for tourism and this type of things. In IEEE, we still are not allowed to travel under IEEE business. We have a general ban on traveling for all IEEE volunteers and staff. Maybe that will be released soon, maybe not. But this is the current situation. We are not allowed to travel anywhere, even within the countries, for IEEE business. So I was talking about membership before. This is total IEEE membership in the last years, month by month. So we see here the months of January, February, and so on to December, and each colored line means different year. So here in purple, we have 2018. In red, we have 2019, last year. And we see that every year membership goes down in February because people are deactivated, and then we slowly recover most of the members until we finish the end of the year at a given point in December, right? But in green, we have 2020. So we see that January and February were more or less normal, but starting in March, things are radically different. This trend increased again in April and in May. And so we have now a big gap between what we expected our membership numbers to be at the end of May in respect to what we actually have at the end of May. We will have numbers for June soon. Let's see what happens, but this is the situation at the end of May. We have 5.9% members less than 1 year ago, and we clearly see that the difference is significant there, and if it's probably the trend is to be increased, and the percentage will be higher and higher if the situation remains the same. Right, this is global IEEE. Here we have numbers per region and per member grade. Higher grade members in the first column, graduate students, undergraduate, and then total members in the right. And we are around here, region 8. So we see that we lost 4% of our higher grade members, almost 7% of graduate students, 16 or 17% of undergraduate students, for a global of minus 6.3% of our members, which is more or less around the average, 5.9. We see that there are regions which are doing slightly worse, -8, -9, -13. Some others are doing more or less fine. Especially region 8 is region 10. Sorry, region 10 is significant because they were able to increase their membership in higher grade members, but this is mainly the cause of one single section, which has specific situation there, so probably is not also not very representative of the global situation. So we see that there are declining membership in everywhere and in all grades, and for all many reasons, right, that we can easily understand. So this is the situation that we have, and we need to do something, right? So the main cause of this membership declining is probably our lack of ability to recruit new members, because we saw that in February every year, and this is common, every year we lost members, and then we are recruiting new members to compensate with these members who left, right? But this year we are struggling to do that. Because we cannot hold events, we cannot have conferences where people join, we cannot have workshops or the talks or lectures or this type of things. So it's very difficult for us as an organization to recruit new members. So let's try to think some, let's say, transient solution while we get to this normality and things get back to normal again, and we can again meet and have conferences and so on. So we had a meeting like 3-4 weeks ago. We had a meeting of the Strategic Planning Committee to discuss on all these things. And we were like brainstorming things that we could do at this point to help in the recruitment and in the retention of the recruitment of new members and in the retention of the members that we already have, so that they don't leave and they renew when time comes. In a couple of months, people should start renewing, and we need to be sure that people understand that the IEEE membership is still important in these times, right? So we brainstormed a number of things, and at the end we came with some ideas that later were presented to the OPCOM, and the OPCOM changed a few things as well. So at the end we have a structure like this that we present. So we planned on encourage the organization of what we call distributed high meetings. In countries where people can meet in small groups, that will be the thing to do, right? In person attendance where this is possible. So we can have very small meetings in cities where only people from that city will attend, because we are not allowed to travel. But maybe we can have 10 or 20 people here in one room and have a talk, a lecture, a workshop, or something like this, always following these local laws. But at the same time, we can connect with using this online meeting or online participation that we are used to now, right? So we can have remote speakers or remote guests or something like this, or even 2 meetings in different cities joined together with a screen or something like that, right? So that's why we're calling hybrid and distributed, because nobody will be able to travel to attend this meeting. So we will have this distributed thing, right? We, of course, think this is a temporary, a transient program to keep the members engaged while we are in this situation, right? Hopefully, at some moment, we will be able to resume normal activity or slowly resume normal activity. As I mentioned, the idea is that this will be organized locally by the units, right? So in principle, we as a region should not be very much involved in the organization, because we don't know the situation everywhere, right? We will support. I will come to this later. We will support, but they will be organized by the units that know the situation best. And these are sections. Sometimes these are chapters, which are very local as well. This can be student branches or student branch chapters, affinity groups, and so on. These local units that know what is happening in their countries or places. And we will support, right? We can provide speakers. We have several subcommittees where they have speakers. We have the professional and educational subcommittee. We have young professionals. They are also providing speakers. We have students activity committee. All of them know people are in contact with people that can speak or that can deliver a talk or a workshop or something, right? We will provide publicity. We can provide some kind of logistics, coordination, share calendar, something like that. And we can also provide funds for this, because we have some money that we didn't spend yet in this year, right? So this is the support that we are planning to offer from the region, right? And as I mentioned, this is targeted to these units in general, all organizational units in the region. Okay. And the idea, of course, is to use these events as recruitment events, as recruitment with the target of recruitment, right? Recruiting new members, because this is the thing that we are not doing completely okay right now. So it will be important to open these meetings to non-members so that they can join or something like this. We know this will be difficult because the attendance will be small and we cannot have very open. We need to most people will need to count the people attending in advance to comply with the law and so on. So it will be difficult, but this is we should try to do that. Some ideas of things that can be done following this this pattern. We can have technical talks. This, I believe, this will be one of the let's say most ideal thing by distinguished speakers. This distinguished speaker can be remotely connected to a screen which is shared in one room, and everybody's looking at the same screen, so that they have some kind of microphone, local microphone, so they can have questions, debate, or something. Some panels where we have a number of speakers related to technology or related to pandemics or whatever, right? We can also have workshops for a small number of people, like 10, 20, let's say 20 students. We can have a workshop on, I don't know, soldering PCBs or programming, whatever, right? This will be possible so that they learn and they are trained in something. Hackathons, we can have contests, and we can provide some gifts or to the winners, awards, or something like this. For example, we can have student branch chapters having like a lecture or training, and this will be streamed to other chapters in other parts of the country or the region. Typically, universities should have this audiovisual equipment already available, and following the regulations that can be available to us, to our units in many cases, right? Or we can have like these cross-sectional meetings, similar to our cross-sectional SYPs, where 2 or 3 or 4 sections, which are more or less related, they are together. They will meet, each of them in one place, and they will be connected online and doing some common activities. So these are some examples that can be used, but of course many other things can be thought and created. Now, finally, to come to the region support that we can offer, our idea was, as I mentioned, provide speakers or guests or things like this, but we can also provide financial support. This year, we didn't spend all the money that we had allocated in traveling, in meetings, and so on. So we have some money which is not used yet. And we all thought that it's reasonable to use for this type of things, right? So we can, so the unit organizing one of these meetings can request some financial support, and according to our possibilities, the region can allocate that, right? So we had some ideas of doing this in different phases. So we will start with, let's say, with a first wave of these meetings, and depending on how they go, how successful they are, and also depending on how the pandemic situation evolves in the world or in the region, right, we can adapt a little bit the program, like spending more money, or if we see that we are going back to normality, then resuming normal activity and so on. And this money can be used for hiring the venue or the equipment. This audiovisual equipment sometimes might be needed. We can buy some giveaways, some gifts to the people who attend, or we can even pay for some food or refreshment, some snacks, this type of things, right? But we will not be funding any type of travel, even within the country, even within the city. This is not allowed. We are not allowed to travel. So everybody will have to go to this physical meeting by their own means, right? So that's why we expect this to happen only in one city or people within a small region. Right? So Magdalena decided on create one subcommittee, an ad hoc committee, to decide on this allocation of funds, composed by the 3 vice chair members, student and technical activities, the treasurer, and myself. And then, yeah, we will be receiving this request for funding, and we will decide on how to allocate, depending on the size, on the number of people that can be reached, on the type of event, on these things, right? But it will be possible, and we are looking forward for the request to come. And yeah, we are launching this first phase now. So there will be announcements sent by the director to all section chairs mainly, and then we will reevaluate according to what is happening and the results and everything. right? The procedure, everybody which is in need of some funds or support should send email to me, and then we will need this information, very simple. So we don't want this to be like people writing a 10-page application with a lot of details. No, yes, like short email with simple information, because we want this to be fast, right? This will be a transient solution for the coming months, and if we delay the approval for this for 1 month, then it makes no sense, right? We lose the point. So yes, the content, what you plan to do, date and time, of course, and location, and the number of people that you plan to have according to regulation, what are the safety measures that you will need, and this type of thing, so that we are sure that everything is correct. And with this information, we hope to be able to reply very soon, right? And of course, the support that you need or they need from the region. There will be no deadline for that, so everybody is welcome to submit a request at any point. But we will recommend like something sometime in advance. For example, 2 weeks, so that we can think on that and allocate some funds when needed. Allow us 2 weeks. If something urgent, maybe we can adapt to a small to a shorter time. No more than 6 weeks since you apply until the event is held, right? Because it doesn't make sense to plan things for November now, because we don't know what will happen in November, whether everything will be normal, will be again in confinement, nobody knows, right? So it doesn't make sense to plan that much in advance. So we thought that 2 to 6 weeks is more or less reasonable. Of course, this is flexible. We try this to be something flexible and adaptable. Right, and to finish, yes, we will try to make as much publicity as possible for this. We asked the section chairs to distribute this information to chapters, student branches, affinity groups, all the units in their sections. You can do the same with your affinity groups, for example, the young professional, with your student branches in the case of students and so on, or the chapters, or any other structure, or the women in engineering affinity groups. Any other structure that you have, if you can distribute this and ask them to start considering this, right? So at this point, we don't expect the region subcommittees to organize anything by yourself, right? Because these are by nature local meetings that should be organized locally. But of course, we will be grateful if you can support them somehow, if you can provide these speakers, or if you can provide some publicity or this type, or you can help in coordinating 2 or 3 or 4 of these events, this type of things. These are the things that we would like, will request from the region subcommittees that you are present here too. Okay, so this is what we presented to the section chairs, and this is what we wanted to present to you today, so that you are aware of the things that are happening. We are trying to have this and see if it's useful, and of course we will reevaluate this. So we will have it's a transient time. We are learning. So if you have suggestions or you had ideas that we can apply, that's why we are here now, to listen to everyone and see what we can do during these strange times, during these transient times, until we get back to normal. Okay, so that's all from me now. So I return to Magdalena, or of course, I will be happy to answer questions that you might have.
Thank you, Antonio. And let me just say that the reports that you have sent, your short reports that I asked you to send, are all posted in the drive. Those that came late, 4 or 5 came yesterday night or even this morning, they are already posted also. I do not expect that you have had the time to go through them, but I encourage you to read them, because there are a number of very good examples of how you have been working during the past month, which is to be really appreciated. And I commend you for that, because none of you stop, and you have been doing a very good job. And in some cases, it's very close to what we are asking from you. Antonio mentioned that at this point, we don't expect you to do these distributed meetings. Well, I would like to go a bit further and say that we do expect you to help all those operational units that are hanging from you. And we do expect that you get in contact with those units. For example, in the case of the chapters, I think that the chapters and the affinity groups and the student branch chapters and the student branches are probably those units that right now can do more in this scenario that we just presented to you, and they are going to need help in terms of speakers, in terms of how to link them. And I have seen in the chat that you have started to talk about the cons, mainly of these hybrid meetings that some of you have experienced already. And yes, I agree that the technical part can be difficult, mainly, well, everywhere, but probably more in those in given areas of our very extended region. But we can always find solutions for you, and this is what how we will help from our side. Maybe not the best solution, but we can always recommend you to rent or to buy or whatever. We are here to help you, and we want to spend the money. And another comment that I would like to add to what Antonio said, he mentioned that, but I would like to make it much more explicit. Don't think of very elaborated projects that are cost a huge amount of money. We have money, but not the type of money to be spent in maybe 2 or 3 projects, because you people are asking for maybe 25,000 euros. So we cannot support that. So we don't have a specific number for you, but we do have money. I just think that we didn't spend the money in our meeting in March. So we do have a lot of money there. And I take this opportunity that I mentioned the meeting in March, that, as you know, Sections Congress is not happening, and we will have to look for a solution for our second meeting of the year. And I'm not forgetting, I have them in my head, that we promised that second meeting was going to involve also the subcommittee members. So if possible, we will do that, of course. And at this point, we don't know how we are going to do it, because we don't know what the scenario is going to be, if we are allowed to have large meetings or not. And we don't know what's going to happen in October, in November with COVID-19. So we are just waiting to see what happens. We will have an answer to that probably by the end of July, and at least a tentative proposal that will depend on the regulations of international traveling and so on. And another thing that I would like to add, and I guess Vinko is going to speak about this later on, is that our very much, Vinko or Maciek, sorry, we are not going to be able to have our Region 8 SYP in Sweden. But again, there is nothing we could do about that. It's just the team, well, the situation does not allow to have it. And at this point, what I think we could do, but that requires from you to speak in a very executive way. I'm going to go one by one of you. I don't expect you to give us the report that you already sent in a written form. So please don't do that. We will read your report. If you need to refer to your report, do it, of course, you are free to do that. But what we would like to hear from you now are your ideas with respect of what you think your subcommittee can do within this frame that Antonio explained. And of course, we rely on that later on you are going to contact all your subcommittee members, and we'll start working with them towards this idea. So I will go through the alphabetic list. In some cases, you may not be willing to talk. Please feel free to say, I have nothing to say at this point. It's not a problem at all. And if you, right now, if you want to ask questions to Antonio or to any of us, please do so. So I think it's better if we go through the alphabetic list more than looking for people who raise the hand, unless you think that you need to comment something that the speaker just talk about. So at this point, you want to ask any question to Antonio, direct question to what he presented? And again, I will need your help, Anna, with the hands raised because I cannot see them in my screen. I don't know why.
I have any until this moment.
I can see John from Nigeria. He has raised hand.
Yes, at the end. John Fonso, yes.
John,
go
ahead, please.
I have 3 short questions. Let's start with the money. Do we send the budget with the event? That's the first question. Event. Or 10. I think that's all.
John, your voice is breaking. I was unable to understand you correctly. Hopefully Antonio did. So
I think I understood the first question, whether they need to send a budget with the request. Yes, let's say at least an approximate budget of the things that you will need. It's important to have, right? Like you are spending, I don't know, $100 in food and refreshment and $300 in hiring some equipment or something like this. At the end, it can be slightly different, of course, because we are doing this more or less quick, but a preliminary budget will be needed. The second question was related to hybrid event and sections, but the sound was not good and I couldn't understand. If you can repeat or type on the chat, whatever is best. John?
If you have 10 events, hybrid events, do you send them as 10 separate emails or in one?
Okay, let's see if I understood this time. I think it was better. You are talking about hybrid events, whether you need to request separately. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, good. Yeah, when we talk about hybrid events, we mean events which are in part physical, like in person, and in part online, right? So it will be the same event with these two specific, let's say, two different ways of communicating, right? For this, I think that you can send only one request. I don't think we need to complicate things too much. So one simple request should be okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Hey, thank you. So probably if you people don't share your video until you are speaking, we will have a better connection. So let's try to do that. So just shut your video down while you are not talking, and I think we will improve. So if there are no more hands directly for Antonio, I will start going through the list of the chairs. No? Okay. So I think the next person or the first person as subcommittee chair in my alphabetic list is Albert Lisco. Albert has been sending some ideas in the chat. So I don't know if you would like to talk about what you were just saying in the chat, Albert, or if your sound or your audio is not good, I can read loud voice what you wrote in the chat.
Okay, thank you, Magdalena. Once again, good morning, everyone. Okay, I personally found it challenging to go through this transition period because all of the or most of the experiences I have had, they sort of had to be thrown out, considering very different circumstances where practically only online events were possible. However, I was very inspired with the event which Mattia organized, and I believe Region 8 just before that organized all the online event with sections. My realization was that the current situation gives us an advantage in many senses. Advantage because for my committee in particular, it was difficult to interact with members or chapters directly because there are over it's about 1,000 such units in Region 8, and it's financially and time-wise unfeasible to try to go travel and interact with people and pay for travel for people's travel accommodation and so on. The other problem used to be that people weren't keen on online meetings and webinars. I attended a number of different webinars, IEEE and otherwise, and attendance always seemed to be an issue. I think now, as everything is moving towards online approach, people's perception and acceptance of online meetings has changed drastically. And I believe that opens a very good opportunity to do online events. When we can do physical events, surely it will still be a good thing to do. But online meetings, I think, are a way to go. And for my committee in particular, it will be much easier to work with chapters and student branch chapters using mainly online meetings. I had some meetings with our committee members, and the consensus is it's good to have regular meetings with organizational units because now their participation is going to be much higher, and plus we can hopefully provide some leadership and tell them exactly what Magdalena and Antonius mentioned earlier. It's still possible to bring distinguished lecturers, still possible to run technical talks. There is plenty of online content. That was my perspective I wanted to share. Thank you.
Thank you, Albert. Antonio, would you like to answer to Albert? I will encourage a short question and short answers, please, so that we all have time to speak.
Yeah, well, I mainly agree with what Albert said. Yeah, that's true. I mean, when we are talking about having these hybrid events with part in person, part online, that doesn't mean we need to stop doing complete online events. We can keep having these webinars and talks and everything that we have been doing in the latest months. Especially because even if we organize this small face-to-face event, it will be impossible to reach all members because they are local by nature. So even if you go to one city in one section, only people from that city will be able to attend at one time, right? So the rest of the members in that section, we are not serving them. We still need to serve them by having these online events and so on. And I agree that the subcommittees, the region subcommittees, should take the lead in let's say, in encouraging their units under them to do these things while keeping to do the online only events, the purely virtual events. So yeah, I mainly agree with what Albert just said.
If I may add, just I think the other difference that has happened is the format of the events. It used to be the most efficient to run a full day or 2 days type workshop event because then people would be committed to it. Now The opposite would be true. Running short events within 1-2 hours would be the most efficient, because you are now not paying for people sitting in the room and being away from families and distractions. It has to be short, brief. So long event has to be split into short sections. But other advantage, it can be repeated, it can be replayed, and so on.
Yeah, that's completely true. There will be short, there will be small events like in number of people attending and also in duration. But also people will not feel comfortable spending 10 hours within a room, inside a room with other people. So 2 hours, 3 hours, something like this, it's best. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you to both of you. Let's go down the list. Ana Cigaran is my next speaker from Women in Engineering. Ana, you're welcome to speak if you wish. If everything is clear to you, no need to do so. It's up to you.
Actually, I think it's clear. I was just having a brief brainstorming myself, thinking how this could be applied for women engineering. I think what worked quite well in May was we had the first online meeting with all the women engineering affinity group chairs. I think this should be kept virtual because it's like so many countries involved. But I will use this information to inform the chairs that this is a possibility, to encourage them so that locally we can combine this virtual on the different affinity groups that are networked. And then on the other side, each country to try to make more small meetings in the possibility of, for sure, each country, what they do have, like some countries can meet 10 people, 20, whatever. Yeah, that's it for the time being. I will take the information to my team and we will think about what can be done as well, furthermore.
Thank you very much. Oh, let me add something. You could, all of you, maybe you can think about, I don't know, a special incentive for this, like having an award, a temporary award for operational units, local operational units doing something, some of these hybrid meetings that are especially, I don't know, in the invention there, the imagination there is extraordinary or very good, and then they were successful. So honestly, I didn't. This is an idea that I just had. I didn't share this with the OPCOM members, but I'm sure we will all be in agreement to somehow give an incentive to all our operational units that are doing a good job in serving the members and in trying to reach out to members. Do you agree, Antonio?
Yes, of course.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay, so the next person is Andreas Coltes in my list here in the attendant. Andreas, would you like to add or comment? Or...
Yes, I'll give a very brief report. So basically, the regular operation of the Voluntary Contribution Fund is currently essentially suspended because as we don't have any conference travel, people are also not applying for travel grants from the fund. However, I'm currently in touch with the finance staff in the headquarters, exploring whether we could use some of the funds of the Voluntary Contribution Fund to maybe support projects of student branches or other local organization units. But that's currently still in progress.
Thank you, Andreas. Christopher?
Hi, everyone. So, as you know, we're around communications, publications, and not meetings per se, but I think the way we can help is to make sure that we help you help the members disseminate what they're doing with other members, either within their region or outside of the region. So we've been trying to do that, obviously using the social media mainly, trying to also to put in some COVID content there to help, good news stories type of thing. One thing that occurs to me from a budgetary point of view, we don't have requirements for sort of meeting budgets. However, I think we could reach the members, especially nice locally members, by funding to increase our reach. So in social media, for a small amount of cost, you can boost your content either regionally or greater, depending on what you choose. And I think this would be an ideal use of the money to help the local organizers get the message out there about what they're doing, both locally and more generally. So that is something I think we already had something, a request like that Dora was putting together, but I think marrying it with what you're talking about here, I think it would be ideal. And the only other thing I would add is that everybody here, and of course all of the sections and chapters and so on, if you include us, we can try to help you to disseminate what it is that you're doing, whether it's through a report, you know, so like a reporting on the meeting itself, or just helping to advertise what's happening. We can't be everywhere all the time. We do rely on people coming to us. So if we let the organizers know that they can do that, then I think we can help. We can be of help. Okay.
That's great. I think that's a very good help. It would be very good help. And maybe what you can do is to write those ideas somehow and ask and see how we can tell everybody, or you can just use the distribution list that we have in Region 8 to reach section chairs, to reach all the other subcommittees and all the other, okay, you can do that. And then I think it's a very good idea. Thank you for that, Chris.
Okay.
Thank you. Costas.
So can I just elaborate a little bit on that?
Yes, of course. Sorry, Costas, I'll give you the floor when Nadil finish.
All right. So just regarding that, just to elaborate and take it further, what Chris mentioned, I've been also working directly with George, Maria, and Dora. Directly, as we discussed during one of the opcoms, you know, certain things, certain action items that we had regarding the dissemination of the information, and also to try and have everyone on board. So we are not limiting to any subcommittees within member activities, but also technical activities. Every single thing, every single functionality that we have in Region 8, you would see in the short while, in a week's time or something, Maria is very actively working on that. I think she can also mention it while she is giving her brief. Is basically we will have one consolidated, converged table from our main web page that would list all the activities and events that were supposed to happen in 2020, starting from January 2020, and we will have an update on those activities that Region 8 was either involved or kind of managing. Initiating, and we will have an update on all those events, meaning that if they happened, if they were completed, if they were postponed or cancelled, because we keep getting questions from across the region. In fact, sometimes outside the region too, I do get some emails that, you know, what happened to this event? Is it cancelled? Is it postponed? Is it going to be online? And these are disparate questions that we are getting. So to answer and to address this thing, what we are trying to do is basically create a table which is converged for all the events that were supposed to happen in 2020, and we are going to have a status of those events on one page. And you will all, the subcommittee chairs, will get an email from our side requesting you to fill a table. It would be sort of a questionnaire table that you fill. At the back end and the front end of the web page, you will get the data. And I'll explain to you later on once the platform is ready. So as I said, I'm working very closely and active with Maria. The other thing that we are going to have, so this is the update on the events that we were supposed to have, or we were planning to have in the second half of the year, right? Now, this is all the events. So it would be one stop for anyone who is willing to get the information of an event. You will get that. Second thing that we are trying to do is create a similar sort of functionality, a table, which again will be populated by people from across the regions within the sections, and this to encourage what you call, participation. As I mentioned in one of the ideas, we can have something cross-sectional, events. So even a section who's willing to broadcast their local event to the region will be able to do that. And how we are going to do that is basically we will have a link from our web page whereby we will ask, and I'll send an email out to all the members of the region. They can populate certain basic information regarding an event with a link of the event web page, and we will sort it out by months. Every month we'll have an event going forward, and what will happen is we will have a link from our main web page, and this would be a dynamic document. So this would be updated whenever there is an update, and it will be sorted automatically. And what will happen is basically we'll have a list of all the events happening across the region, which will be all in one place, and people can go and click on a monthly basis or a date-wise basis on the link provided on the name of that event, and they will go to the website. So for example, if there's an event happening, let's say in UAE, in Dubai, I'll have an event, let's say on July 1st. So someone goes to the calendar of July 1st, they will click on that and they'll take them to the web page of my event. So that way we are going to encourage participation across the region without having to do a lot of things. And for that, I would require help from all the subcommittee chairs and members who are either involved in initiating an event, participating in an event. I will be sending out emails to all the ad hoc chairs of all the ad hoc subcommittees within the sections, all the society chairs, and that way we will have one place where we will see all these events going forward. So this is something that Maria can also elaborate later on. I just thought maybe it was a good time to let you guys know. Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Adil. Thank you for that. And also during the last meeting, last Saturday, I asked the section chairs if they agree to send their information to the other section because it's very valuable what they are doing in every single section, and everybody agreed that they were in favor of sharing their information and getting the information from the other section chairs. So I guess by doing what you are planned to do, Adil, you are already capturing the activities in the section, and some of them. In some cases, it's very easy because they publish, it's not updated, but it's like a quarterly summary. But maybe you can ask the section chairs to try to do the effort of updating that, not quarterly, but at least every 15 days or something, so that you can reach the information from the section. I think it's for some of them it's going to be a very big burden to do that, but at the same time I think it's good because that will give us some discipline and some way of keeping their web page updated and so on. But the main idea that I was willing to give is that everybody was in agreement that to share information was something that it was especially needed at this point in time.
Yes, Maria here.
Yes, Maria.
Okay, the functionality, I spoke with Adil, the functionality of the 2 pages he mentioned will be ready within the week. But yes, the most important is to have the events, to add them at the page. Without the events, the page is nothing. I mean, so we will send an email or something to all subcommittees to share their events with us in order to have the information to add them there.
Thank you, Maria. Thank you for doing that.
Right, and just to add on that, as you mentioned, Magdalena, we are not going to be putting a lot of burden just on the section chairs. We just need the consent. So we will be approaching, I will be approaching the section chairs also, but for the influencing part, that means that they will send out a message, they will cascade the message downwards to all their officers within the section and even the society chapter chairs and the student branch counselors. So the chairs will not be doing that, they will be just influencing that. What we will have, the way I'm planning to do is basically have champions would take care of their own domains. For example, women in engineering, for example, we have Anna here, and she's going to be broadcasting that message to all the affinity group women in engineering chairs in all the sections that have them within the region. Similarly, Mate, we will appreciate Mate's help for the section vitality when it comes to some other things of section meetings. There are many things happening within a section. For example, my section, where we have some talks going here and there, and it would be up to the section if they are willing or they consent to broadcast it. It is for their own good, because their section, their event would have more exposure. So at the same time, it's up to them. So what they would have to do, it won't be a weekly or a monthly kind of an update. It would be, we would be requesting them for an update in real time. As soon as they report a meeting, for example, in vTools, we would be asking them to just go here and fill, like there are maybe 8 fields that we have in this form that they quickly fill, and it would benefit them actually, because they will have a lot of audience connecting to their events. So we just hope that inshallah, this will go in a positive way as we assume.
Thank you, Adil. There are no more comments. I can move to Costas. Costas.
Yes, thank you, Magdalena. One comment about the awards. Since I'm a member, I'm the past chair of the awards committee. I welcome these awards, and whoever has any new ideas about the new awards, please share your ideas with the awards committee, and I'll make sure that we take good care of it. And as you know, I'm the Sections Congress coordinator, but we don't have a Sections Congress right now, so I'm more or less without a job. That's okay. Hopefully it will be done next year, but this is not definite yet, so we cannot announce this. It might happen in 2021 or 2022. We will see. They will have to decide and see all the parameters, see how this coronavirus situation is going, and then they will decide. One other comment I would like to make is that during this time of the year that everybody was locked up, online meetings were very much more successful than previously. People were eager to have IEEE meetings, and they were eager to participate, and they had time to spend and to be prepared and take tasks on. So if you are having meetings, please go ahead and do them. Hopefully they will be more successful than they used to be. That's all I have.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Costas. And we know that you did a lot of work for the Sections Congress. It's a pity that it's not happening, but hopefully you will collect everything coming from your work this year, the next year, or I don't know, whenever it happens. Okay, thank you. No other questions for Costas or comments? Looks like it's not the case, so I will move to David.
Hi, thank you. And I kind of like, if I may, I'd like to use this as an opportunity to make an offer and a request. So the Standards Coordination Committee stands ready to provide speakers on the general subject of standards, or alternatively on specific technical standards if preferred. And don't forget, Wi-Fi is based on an IEEE standard, and IEEE standards are doing a lot in the area of ethics, which is creating a great deal of interest as well, getting a lot of attention. So with respect to the general subject of standards, we've been working on a webinar with the IEEE SA and the Egyptian Knowledge Bank that we're going to do in July called IEEE Standards Powering Innovation. So happy to leverage that as well if somebody's interested in having a speaker to talk about standards in general. So I'll just my pitch, please remember standards if you're setting up one of these hybrid meetings. I'm ready to find speakers for you.
Thanks a lot, David. I'm sure that you will get some people contacting you for this, and yeah, I'm sure.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So if there are no comments for
Magdalena, I can see a raised hand. Albert
Yes.
has his hand raised.
Okay, Albert, go ahead.
Apologies, it was raised from the last time I wanted to raise it, but I was called in as automatically, so apologies, I didn't cancel it.
Okay, thank you.
Like in airplane, you know, you press the button and the attendant.
No, well,
We all
the
need
main problem is I cannot see the button, so I cannot see your hand raised. I don't know why I have this problem with my WebEx setup. So it was not intended, just not to hear your voice again. So if you don't have nothing else to add, I will move to Dora. Dora?
Yes.
Thank you.
Well, from my side, regarding the social media mainly, I would like to say that if anyone requires any help in order to promote their activities or anything that they're doing on their social media, please feel free to directly message me either by email. With most of you, we are already friends on Facebook, so feel free to ask any kind of help. Also, I would like to mention that currently we also have a LinkedIn page for IEEE Region 8, which was found accidentally. Somehow we're searching for that, and I found it. I thought it was actually made from the Vienna office because the information in the description were very nice, but it appears that they had no idea about it. Someone had created it. I contacted the LinkedIn support in order to help me to gain access on that. So I created a business email for IEEE and gave them so they can give me access. It was quite of weird in order to take control of that. But the main issue was someone had created an original, an official page for the region. No one knew about it. And that profile that it was created under, the page that was created under that, it was inactive. So it was nice that support actually gave me the overall control, and now you can visit it. I will send the link on the chat and follow the page and stay updated with the news that we're sharing there. And also, I encourage you all to visit the Region 8 today and find some nice news that we have posted recently about our region, and mainly about hack and site projects from the African region that were founded in order to fight COVID-19. And we have more coming up, so stay tuned about that. And if there is any way that I can help with the social media, we have a great and very active community. So they're waiting for news and new webinars and activities. And if there are any best practices from previous activities that someone might have had and willing to share this information with the others, I'm here for help, and I will make sure to create nice content to share on our social media. That's all from my side.
Thank you very much, Dora. Thank you for your support and for the great job you're doing with social media. And I think they are very much important at this point in time, and in the next few months are going to be much more important than they used to be. So thank you for being there. Are there comments for Dora? So if Sorry, I mute myself. So the next person in my list is George Michael. I don't know if you want to say something, George. Doesn't look like, so then I'll move to George Papadimitriou. So George, you want to say something? You want to?
Yeah, just a small thing. Let's say from the student representative standpoint, I do see the opportunity, especially for the retention of the membership to, let's say, to these distributed events. We will use as much as possible the network that we have in the Student Activities Committee. Of course, Maciej will add on that. But the idea for me is that it's a good opportunity to act fast with, I mean, as it was proposed, with a good budget to support local events and enable sections. And I think we can, let's say, give a little bit of a twist in this situation. And I think it's a good opportunity for us to work on that. And we will work closely with the sections and the student network that we have, also the previous committee for the SYP Congress. That's pretty much from my point.
Thank you, George. Actually, we rely in all of you in the Student Activity Committee because we really need you, and we really need you working very hard to retain the students and to serve the students and to explain to them by facts the value that IEEE has to offer to them. So if you need help from our side, please ask for help. We can help you in many ways, as Antonio explained. And if you have any projects that we can support, we are here for that. So don't be shy and just tell us what you need.
Absolutely, I'm not known for being shy. Thanks a lot.
I know that. I know that. Okay. Thank you very much, George.
Thank you.
So any comments for George? Okay. Doesn't look like, so I'll move to Levgen. Another very important subcommittee chair for us dealing with the membership.
Hello. Do you hear
Hi,
me?
Levgen. How are you? Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Hello to everybody. So first of all, I can add to Antonio's presentation that Region 8 lost more students membership, not professional, just it's logical because university is closed, so we lost student membership. I hope it can be improved in October or September. I think it's very good idea with local units support. It can help for membership development, and I can suggest, so as you know, we have membership development award in general, but we can develop some MD awards at local level due to pandemic. So for example, if section chapters doing some good things, keep numbers, keep activities, they can get some MD award from region level. It could be good. Also, I believe we can prepare some membership development materials for presentation for technical meetings, especially for online meetings, just to show some videos, some presentation about benefits, very short, some few minutes, but it can be useful. And also, I believe we can suggest for Vitality Coordinator to create some award for administration activities for chapters and sections together that's related to MD. And also I can add, maybe it's not good, but I can add that some update for Eastern Europe that coronavirus it's growing in our part of the world. For example, in Ukraine, yesterday was a record, almost 1,000 found with corona in Ukraine. So in Belarus, it's 700, and in Russia, it's still 8,000 per day. So it's not a win still, but so you need to think about it when somebody will request funding for local activities from Eastern Europe. Maybe it will be impossible because in our districts, this quarantine, it depends of numbers. So some days they open university and they can meet 10 persons. In another week, nobody can meet in university, no persons, only online meetings can be organized. So that's all.
Thank you. Thank you. By the way, I didn't mention this, but if any of the OPCOM members would like to answer or comment, feel free to do it whenever you need to. And thank you very much for your suggestion, Levigan. I guess among those items or those ideas that you can share or you can send to interested people, there are also these training courses that you have been doing, so they can be done locally.
Yes, Magdalena, yes, we want to help to people locally and virtual to organize these training courses, yes.
Okay. No, I didn't catch that. Probably I was distracted if you mentioned training, but I was just willing to highlight that training is very important, and so it's very good to have you there.
Thank you.
Any other comment?
Yeah, I think what Jevgen suggested is a great idea. I didn't think about it before, having this material from MD that we can use in on all of them of these distributed meetings. So that we can use this to recruit, especially in these times. So something adapted for the times that we can use at every meeting will be very much appreciated. So if the Jevgen's team can work on that, that will be great.
Thank you, then, Levigan. So if there are no more comments for him, I will move to our next attendee. Yuko?
Hi, I'm here. We can also provide some webinars, but about conferences, MCE has a very good courses, webinars on demand as well, but they lack live questions and discussions. So we can organize if there is interest. The only problem is that also these webinars could be on conference organization basis or like types of co-sponsorship, and we had an idea to have a new one, like best practices in virtual conferencing. But the problem is that if we want to invite a speaker from IEEE, they are very busy now with committees and helping to conduct meetings and also other major society conferences. So they told us it's very difficult for them to prepare a specially designed webinar on best practices for virtual conferencing. I asked them only to be present at such an information session to answer questions because the members of our committee don't have much experience in virtual conferencing platforms. Recently we had Melecon, and maybe we can invite someone who in Melecon was in charge of conferencing, and also Peter Nagy was from Comsoc in charge of the NOMS conference. But this is only two different platforms. There is no general knowledge in all platforms. So that's why I think it would be nice if we can make a survey. Is there interest in such a new webinar or for the already existing webinar, so we can be present there, me or other members of our committee, to answer questions and discussions, live discussions. The survey may be needed only for the new one about the virtual conferencing platforms, because at the moment we had only one that was Melecon, and all the rest of the conferences are from September, and they still expect to have face-to-face meeting. In technical co-sponsorship, there are four conferences that go virtual, but the rest are still from September. They don't know how we'll organize the conference. So there is only few people who might be interested in the new webinar, which is also, as I said, we don't have experts from MCA because they're very busy. Okay, that would be very short from our committee.
Thank you, Yuko. And by the way, I attended, well, only very briefly, Melecon, and I thought it was very well organized. The format was very interesting, with live presentation and other ones that were previously recorded and so on. Of course, I think there was a lack of interactivity. There was interactivity, but not that much. And I'm not sure that the platform they were using allowed that much of interactivity. I may be wrong, okay? So
they use a special platform, VCon, and with Microsoft Teams. All presentations were pre-recorded, so people listen at their pace and then only post questions. But it was very interesting that it was open to everyone to listen. Only the authors who wanted papers published, they pay registration fee, but it was free for everyone else. So this makes certain concerns with IEEE. Yesterday we had a meeting with conference committee, and they say this is something like open access, because the people can download, and they're still thinking what to do in the future with such kind of free registration.
Right.
But the conference was very successful. I attended all the special sessions, women in engineering, about startups, etc. It was very successful conference.
Yes, I really enjoyed it, and Antonio was also there, and I also attended other conference online, not Region 8, and I think we are really learning how to do business in a different way. It's not what we really like, but they are very good anyway. And going to your point about September, in June and July, most of the societies, well, at least those societies that have their flagship conference in US, they are having them in June and July, and most of them, even the very large conferences like IMS, the National Micro Symposium, which is an event attended by 6,000 people. Those conferences are also happening online, virtually. So I think, and by the way, and this goes to a question of one of our section chairs last week, all of them, the registration fee is zero. So last week, I don't remember who it was, but one of our section chair claimed that it was not fair that the registration fee was kept the same, and I'm seeing that it's not true. The registration fee is zero, and in some conference they charge for each paper that is published, that is presented, not for each author who presents a paper. That author can have more than one paper, and the charge is very small, like $10. So I think in general we are doing a good job of with conferences, and I think this pandemic is helping us on this sense, in this sense, to learn how to do business and to serve the members. So I hope that in Region 8 we will also do that, and I am seeing that we are doing it. So thank you, Lukov, for being there and for your leadership in this in all these conferences and the work of your subcommittee.
Thank you.
Any comment for Luco or question?
We have a raised hand by Dora from some time ago.
Dora, sorry, go ahead, please.
Yeah, it was by accident, sorry, but I don't know if I can raise it. Sorry.
Okay.
It seems that the raised hand feature is not working very well.
Sorry about that.
Okay, that's okay.
I wanted to add, Magdalena, unfortunately, not all conferences are free.
Okay.
EMBS it's a very annoying thing for me. They're actually charging $220 to students to attend their virtual conference, which I find atrocious in this climate. So unfortunately, it's not everywhere, and I think it's wrong, but we just have to be prepared for that.
Okay. Okay. No, I'm sure we'll have all type of conferences in that sense, but I was not ready to answer to the statement of our section chair the other day. I just said, because I was having a general idea that it was not correct that they were charging exactly the same, and I did some research during this week, and I found out that in many cases, at least those cases that are close to me, that is not happening.
Yes, the IEEE had a recommendation to reduce the registration fees at least 40%. HOMSOC recommended for the conferences they co-sponsor at least 60%. And if you notice NOMS, which happened, should have happened in Budapest, they reduced the registration fees tenfold. So it was a really big reduction. But the conferences they don't reduce, they're only technically co-sponsored, and they usually are organized by the same professor, and they're doing it for profit. That's why these are few conferences that don't reduce registration fees. And the decision on registration fee is to the organizers and co-sponsors, co-sponsoring units. So in the case of technical co-sponsorship, it's their decision, and IEEE cannot do much. But all IEEE co-sponsor conferences had reduced their registration fees.
Okay, that's very good to know. Good to know. Any other comment on conferences? If not, I'll move to our next speaker, Maciek.
Thank you, Magdalena. First of all, my apologies for lack of the camera. I disassemble it, and after reassemble it, it stopped working. So, so that's the reason. I would like to, according to what was said already, I totally agree with Albert Lisko and Andreas. My congratulations to Dora, and also about what Yevgen said about the student statistics retention. When you look at our subcommittee report, there is a whole list of the sections, and actually we increased the number of students in 22 student branch sections. And actually what Yevgen said, it's true that actually those drops that we have are because the universities are closed. So we believe when they will be open, we will regain. And in addition, there is like one section that is heavily hit. It's Lebanon that we are working on. This is because of the problems with the paying by credit cards and debit cards. Okay, so I believe everybody are waiting for the Region 8 Student Young Professional Congress information. So actually we had to cancel the face-to-face event. Instead of the face-to-face in August, we will have a hybrid, local and online SYP. We are working on the name, so let's call it the online SYP right now. And it will be held in September. We believe in the middle of September. We are still working on getting the exact structure and rules and other stuff, but we believe that having local meetings within the sections and the online part will be beneficial. It will be not the same as having only online and not the same as having the face-to-face, but I believe that's something that needs to be done. Yes, so we got a very nice hackathon that we got 200 teams registered. There are also the results in the report, and we are working on another two, this multi-section projects or competitions. We hope to give you some information soon. I believe it will take like between the 2 to 4 weeks to get the to get them in shape. And also we are working that the biggest problem that we have that is also impacting the finances is the problem with the database. We have 7,000 students that lost the connection to the student branch. We are working right now, and we applied to MGA-SAC to move the deadline from June to November for dissolution of the student branches, as we cannot right now 100% sure say branch have the students or other don't have. So I will inform about this when I get more info. And of course, we are focused on engaging the students. There is a lot of online activities in form of webinar or contest from the section side on their initiative, especially in the Middle East, in Turkey, in Greece, and in Kenya, Nigeria. So there are some activities done there already by the section. And I believe that very important will be this this online SYP. But in addition to the online SYP, of course, we will outreach to the sections and to the section student representatives and the student branch chairs, as we have a feeling that our meeting with the section chairs didn't do the job to inform the students, because we asked some students and they still don't have the information. So we will contact the SSRs and the student branch chairs directly to inform about the possibility of having this local events and funding for those local events. In addition, of course, to those that we are, what Antonio said, that between 2 and 2 weeks and 6 weeks periods of time. So definitely we need to improve, as they don't have this information. Also, I believe not every section chair was attending, so there is like a low awareness of that. So I believe that's everything. If you have any questions or comments about the student activities, please let me know. And also, you need to know that we are still very intensively working to put in place this online SYP. So we will also inform you as some of the subcommittees want to take part in, and also we want encourage you to take part in, to have some workshop at this online SYP. Thank you.
Thank you, Maciek. We know that you are working hard to keep everything going on, and we are grateful for that, everybody in Region 8. We all value our students and our young people, so that is very much needed. I'm going to, because Sohai was saying that he was needing to go. I don't know if he's still online, and I didn't give him an opportunity to speak. Well, I see that he left already. So anyway, that's fine. So any comments for Maciek before I move to the next speaker? Okay, thank you then. And then I will ask Maria if you would like to speak, Maria.
Hello.
Hi, Maria.
Hi. I don't have something else to say. I spoke before for what we have new at our website for the events what Atil mentioned before. So I'm fine.
Okay, thank you, Maria. So Marius, you're next.
Okay. Hello, everybody. With regards to the industry engagement activities, first we had a problem with the internship that we could not go and visit the corporations and secure the internships this year, these internship positions this year, since we are doing that mostly during March and May. So right now the internship positions secure are very few. And also we have faced the problem that in corporations, people are not allowed to be in the offices. So the internship program has been affected negatively from the COVID virus. While we had these problems, we continue our work. We have been able to offer webinars in artificial intelligence and in other aspects such as embedded systems. We participated in Melecon through sections. So we focus our efforts on online activities. We also supported the quarantine hackathon organized by Side Egypt. They asked for our sponsorship or some expenses, so I'm going to be sending Antonio and the rest of the committee a request for, I think it's 300 euros to be given to the Egypt sections for that activity. We have been actively involved with mentors and with judges in that, and we're going to be mentoring the winning team. So we have the opportunity to provide value to our members through entrepreneurship events, where we're able to sign new MOUs with industries, and we are also working in new, such as IBM in Egypt, and also in Nigeria, we have signed MOUs with Price. So we have been working also in Tunisia, we have signed MOUs, so we have been active trying to add to our industry partners. And we're going to focus both on online as well as hybrid events. We're going to try to support local sections organizing events with regards to industry. It's very good to hear that there is a process for funding that Antonio has mentioned, and also the process that Antil has mentioned, that we could inform more people about events that we can organize along with the industry ambassadors and sections. May I recommend, while organizing the events on the website, to put, for example, keywords such as industry or artificial intelligence that people can search not only through the timeline. We're going to also use social media, because we're addressing young professionals and students. So we're going to continue trying to provide value to them. We're going to support the SIP Congress, since we're part of the entrepreneurship activities in there. And we're going to try to shift the budget that we had for traveling and for supporting the industry activities to hybrid events that will be happening in the rest of the year. I have left as a last topic I want to inform you about is that we have been able to restart the mentoring program. We have 19 mentors again posted on the Region 8 website under the Action for Industry. So we're going to be reaching out to students and young professionals that seek mentoring. And as I said before, we're already providing mentoring to entrepreneurs and young people and other people in industry for seeking their own industry opportunities. So we have been able to continue provide value to members in industry, and we're going to work also on the internship program that enable IEEE to add members, since students who are not members were being registered as IEEE members in order to apply for internship. So this is what has happened so far, and we are continuing our collaboration with student activities, young professional conferences, and other, and women engineering, other committees to provide value and organize and participate in joint events. And we're going to also continue being in touch with industry partners and try to expand IEEE's reach to industry and getting it closer to.
Thank you, Marius. So I think it's a very good idea that you can provide help when these hybrid meetings are organized wherever in the region, with ideas about the collaboration with industry, same that we heard before about the standards from David. So I hope that all of you will share these ideas that Marius brought to the table with the people you are contacting when they propose a distributed meeting. So thank you. I don't know if there are any other comment for you from the audience.
I'll just make a quick comment.
Yes, please, Adil.
To the query that Marius has regarding the search, when we are inputting all the information regarding events, consolidated information. So there are going to be multiple fields. We would have a domain and we would have a category also. A domain meaning, what kind of a training or an event it is, professional, it's just a webcast, it's something which is personal development, a volunteer training, stuff like that. And then we will have domains and we will populate the form. Hopefully, this is the idea right now. This is what Maria is working on, to have a drop-down menu listing all the domains, as in the subcommittees that we have and the various functionalities we have within within our region. For example, action for industry, student activities, you name it. So any functionality that we have within the region will be in a drop-down menu. So each event will be listing according to the domain, but sorted calendar. So that means if someone goes to an August calendar, they would be able to see and filter out the events that they are interested on based upon the drop-down menu. This is how we intend to create it, and we just hope that it will be done in the same manner. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. Any other comment? Doesn't look that is the case. So yeah.
Stamatis here. May I?
Sorry, who are you?
Stamatis Dragomanos.
Stamatis, yes, of course. Go ahead, Stamatis.
In Regionit today, in collaboration with PASC, so me and myself, we've initiated a platform where our speakers could write articles providing hints and tips about their professional life, etc. So I'm inviting the Action for Industry mentors to create articles, and so we can publish them there and increase their engagement and their image to our students. I've had a talk with Mohammed Amir about that. He's interested, so I officially invite Action for Industry to participate.
We're going to be in discussion then, because it's a good idea, and we can provide input, because through mentoring, we're trying to help them through professional development. So yeah, definitely we'll be in touch and see how we can add value and information and knowledge through this channel. Okay, thank you, Stamatis.
Thank you. Thank you, both of you, for that. So I think I can move now to Matej.
Yeah, thank you for the word. I'll give a short overview of Section Vitality and Development Subcommittee activities. One of our main roles or goals is focus on sections, and the beginning of the year was focused on activities such as elections in sections and officer reporting. I think we did that quite well, and the list is updated now. This activity is now concluded, but very soon we will have to focus to start the elections 21 for the next year, so that sections start looking for the volunteers and organize the process earlier. What we see from year to year is that this process is quite late in January or February, so we will try to motivate them to do it end of summer, autumn period. Based on this, this year MGA reported that sections did not respond well to Vitality self-assessment questionnaire, and they reopened the questionnaire, and the sections were contacted again. This time, that was somewhere in April, sections responded quite well, so I expect MGA will report that now we have results, I would say, somewhere in the same percentages in the past years. The second item was financial reporting. Andreas did that with perfection. It was done, I would say, better than expected. We do have some sections that have some, let's say, special circumstances regarding financials, but all others reported on time. Now our activities in the last 2 months are mainly focused on countries that don't have IEEE EOUs and to our subsections. Therefore, to those who are not part of our region committee. With the subsections, we had successful meeting this week. Half of them responded, which is 4 out of 8. And we had a meeting, and based on their response, they were quite happy to have it. And we will do that probably after summer one more time, hopefully also to attract the others. What we observe, most of the subsections are running to get to section status, that their petitions are not well supported with past events, with membership and so on. So our efforts now are towards setting guidelines that are communicated to subsections early enough in order that they act accordingly to be promoted in the future. Similarly goes to the countries that don't have EOUs at the moment. They are quite eager to establish an IEEE section immediately, but once we start talking to them, we realize that this is in many cases just one person or a very small group of persons. So again, we are motivating them to start events, and I believe that these activities that Antonio and Adele were mentioning will be very good for also for these countries in order to get in contact with some IEEE activities and bring them to their members, and this might help them to attract larger crowds. So maybe this should be also related with some membership development activities. Just one comment for the end. I'm very happy to see that these IEEE conferences, many of them are free of charge, but in many cases, we see this information only afterwards. I completely missed the Eurocon, Melecon, which was this week. I believe many members did, and maybe for the next free conferences, we can use PubS and Comms committee to publicize this information more actively. I'm sure students would pick in to see how an international conference looks like, for sure. So the portal that Adele was talking about, I believe it's very good and very important. And also the conferences that Lupcio was discussing is also something that we need to see and utilize within our committees. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Matti. Thank you for the work you are doing. I think it's been great, and let's hope that we have a lot of fruits coming from all that time that you are spending with your subcommittee and with all the sections and subsections. I have a very good feeling that this is going to give us some good results. So thank you for doing that.
Okay, thank you.
And also that what you just suggested is something that is true, that maybe we learn about opportunities when the opportunities are over. So what the IDEAL is going to do or is doing already sounds very good for the benefits of the members of Region 8, and in particular for the students, as you pointed out. I see that Antonio is willing to speak. So Antonio, please go ahead.
Yeah, I was thinking while Mate was speaking, and I think that he raised a very good point, because when we thought about this distributed meetings or events program, we thought in channeling all the requests through the sections, even if they come from chapters, student branches, so channeling through the sections. But Mete raised the point that we have places where there is no section. There are places where we have subsections, and there are places where we have nothing, or maybe one chapter or one student branch. All the places are absolutely nothing. And yeah, he mentioned that it will be good also to help members there or prospective members there. And I think that's really important. But I'm not sure how to channel that. What will be the exact procedure? So we need to think about that. How to do that? Subsections. Maybe we can accept a request from subsections, I think. But where? What about the rest of the countries in the region where we have nothing? Shall we try to do something there as well? Is it worth it? I don't know. I don't have an answer. I just want to stress this point.
Okay, thank you for bringing that point. Yes, of course, we can, for the subsections, we can use Mate if she is willing to do that, to channel to them what was discussed in the last week with the section chairs. We didn't invite the subsection. Maybe we should have done that, but we didn't think about that at that moment. There are two subsections that hang from the section, Alexandria from Egypt, and the other one, I don't remember which one is it. I think it's from one of the Eastern Europe sections, but I don't remember right now. And then we have the other 8 that are hanging now, essentially from Region 8, which means that are in the subcommittee that Matic is chairing. So I think we can ask you, Matic, to convey the message to the subsections. These subsections, they want to organize these distributed meetings. We will help them, and they can channel their proposal in the same way that we have asked the sections and the subcommittees. And for those countries where we have members, but we don't have any operational unit, that there are quite a few, we can always try to contact them directly, to contact them, the members of those who are members in those areas. I don't think we are going to be very successful in getting proposal from them, because they are going to experience a really hard time to think about how am I going to do this. But we can always contact them, and I will be very much interested in contacting them, so they can, among other things, they will see that we care about them. And I think that this can be channeled through Levgen. Levgen has all the information about the members who are in other countries that don't have any operational unit, or maybe a chapter, or maybe just a student branch. So if that's okay with you, Levgen, we can ask you to contact them. I know it's going to be need to compile the list of the members from those countries, but I think it will work to do it.
Magdalena, to clarify, you suggest to contact two members with no subsection and no section, yes?
Yes.
Okay, yes, I understand. Okay.
Okay, so thank you. We can think a bit more about this, and we will, whatever we think, and I'm happy to get ideas from all of you, any of you, and we can channel those ideas to either Matej or Levgen. Any other comment? Otherwise, I'll move to our next speaker.
May I add only that we have active members in Azerbaijan. They don't have section. They organize a conference, so they may like to improve their membership and then apply for section. Or anyway, we should work with them.
Okay.
About Azerbaijan, I can add they have chapter. I believe communication and computer society chapter, so it could be good base to grow.
Cannot hear you, Lyubko. Lyubko, maybe you have muted your.
Yes, they have, Azerbaijan, they organize a conference which will be held in Tashkent, Uzbekistan, which is a neighboring country to them. So they are very active.
Yes, well, Levgen knows that before the pandemic started, we talk about plans to visit two countries, and we were unable to do that because of the pandemic. But I will be happy to use the money that was supposed to be used for traveling to those two countries. In other places, in other activities. So no problem with that.
Maciej here. As a SAC, we are working on the whole network of starting a whole network of student branches in the Eastern Europe and Central Asia, including Georgia, Azerbaijan, Tajikistan. So we plan to have a visit there, but because of the COVID, we could not do this. So maybe if that will be possible, because there are no IEEE structures there, we can also use this fund for have some local meetings there.
Fine.
See, again, can I add thought? It's specific with Eastern Europe that most of them like to speak in Russian. So it can be difficult when they speak in English. So if you need help, any subcommittee, I can assist you. So it's not a problem.
So thank you, Levgen. Yeah, you're right. You're right. So if there are no further comments, I'll move to our next speaker. In my list is Miguel Caseñera, our assistant to the secretary. I don't know, Miguel, if you want to say something. No. So then,
Good morning.
Good morning, Miguel. Sorry.
Sorry. No, I'm just assisting and seeing what is being done in the subcommittees.
Okay. Thank you, Miguel, for being there. So then I'll move to Stamatis. Stamatis, would you like to add something? Yes. Go ahead.
So, in the professional and educational activities, what we've done is to actually use the tools we have in our inventory from Educational Activity Board, like the most the one that's very well known. It's the IEEE Learning Network, where people can have online courses. So what we've done is we've been negotiating with the IEEE legal department and the IEEE marketing team for 3 months, and we finally managed to create a contest where our members, and it's just for the members in order to increase the membership, our members can win a free course. And since we do not travel this year, maybe we can use our funds to maybe offer more courses, more free courses, so that students renew their membership or even become members to participate. Also, I've sent all our calls for our programs to the Educational Activity Board in order to inject more motives for the sections and our members to participate. For example, our alpha contests where sections participate and get points when they organize events. I've sent the call so that the Educational Activity Board add some motivation. Like, for example, when they finally organize an event, they get maybe some money from Educational Activity Board, or they even get more points so that they have more chances to win. So this is what we've been doing for those 3 months. And probably know that negotiating with the legal department is not an easy task. They're demanding, they're looking word by word the texting, and so it's a nightmare. But we've managed to launch the contest, and I will send you the link so that if you can share it with your members, so that we have as many members as possible to participate. And of course, this is piloting for all other regions, so we're pioneers once again. And maybe we can do it for through other OUs like Region A Today, etc. So another tool we have is the speakers, and unfortunately, the response we had from our speakers is not what we were expecting. But I've had a talk with Sohaib, and we will increase our efforts to motivate them to organize webinars, write articles for the platform I told you before, and actually try to attract more members. That's the point, and in order to help them by providing their experience. So this is it for professional education activities. For Region 8 today, we had a almost 70% increase in the connections, which is remarkable, and that I'm telling that to show you that it's starting to become a popular medium, which you could all use to promote your activities. Especially articles about membership benefits, etc., are very, very popular. So if Lupco would like to write articles about that, I think it will have it will be perfectly accepted by our members. Also, of course, about conferences and their fees, etc., we can write articles about that. And of course, we are preparing an interview from the 2 director-elect candidates, so stay tuned to see what they have to say. I believe that Region E Today is a platform where we can use in these difficult times, and it can have very good very good results since it's becoming more and more popular. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Stamatis, for all that information and good ideas. And thank you for your work and the work of your subcommittees. You're really doing a very, very helpful work for the region. And you mentioned the directors-elect that you are going to do an interview. I wonder if it will be appropriate to also do that interview to the president-elects and the president-elect candidates. And the reason I'm mentioning this is because there is a third candidate that came through petition, and we didn't hear about him during our March meeting. So maybe it will be fair to have, but you need to have the 3 of them. Otherwise, it's not acceptable to have 2 or 1 and not the other 2. So, and the same is true for the director-elect. You need to do that. So I would like to hear if any of the OPCOM members attending this meeting agree with my idea of having also an interview with the president-elect candidates.
Yes, why not?
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
We are very careful on treating it equally without, not a chance promoting someone. So regarding the president-elect, I'll have to contact with the institute first. I think they prepared something. So if they can share their info, or maybe then we can contact them directly.
Yes. Yes, of course. You need to follow the procedure. Yes, thank you.
I will do that. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Stamatis. So if there are no comments for Stamatis, I'll move to Tony. Okay, Tony.
Hello.
Welcome. Yeah.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we can see you and we can hear you.
Okay, well, just a few things. Perhaps I should first say a great thanks to Adam for sorting out the finances of Histel Khan finally. I know it was a big job struggling with Strathclyde University and so on. Maybe he will speak about that later. But a few things that maybe I should speak about. One is that some people have suggested that because history milestone ceremonies are having to be delayed, well, maybe we could have virtual milestone ceremonies. I'd just like to suggest I don't think this has value. It only takes a couple of people to put 4 screws in and fix a plaque to a wall for the milestone plaques. What the events, the ceremonies do, they bring together the building owners, possibly some city dignitaries like mayors and other kind of people, and some high-level person or persons from IEEE like the president, getting those people together. We're not trying to recruit the city dignitaries to become IEEE members. The important thing is that they should meet in a more or less traditional way. So I think doing it virtually, to my view, doesn't seem to have any possibilities. But, you know, we can go on preparing proposals and hope a better time will come. There's one thing that I do think I should mention to you, and that is that I, as a co-author of a paper at HistelCon, received an invitation from the editor of a journal of which I had never heard, to write an extended version of my paper for that that journal. Now that raises firstly a copyright issue, because of course I transferred the copyright properly to IEEE, but there's another aspect. I found out fairly soon that publishing in this journal is extremely costly to the author. You have to pay large amounts of money to submit, large amounts of money to publish, large amounts of money to make any amendments and make any comments. So this is a very dangerous path for people to take, and I think they might need some warnings about it. Perhaps those are the main things, except for a proposal I made, which came from various people, that just as we have young professionals, YPs, who are somehow in the world or life between being students and normal members, this transitional stage, that we should also have OPs, which would be old professionals, and they would be those people who are in the transition between normal members and eventually perhaps becoming life members. Often these transitional people simply decide to leave IEEE, and this would be a way of keeping them involved and using all their expertise. I think that's all okay to what I wanted to say, but of course I'm very happy to hear any comments you have. Could you all hear me?
I think they could. Everybody could hear you. So let's see if there are any comments or replies to your queries.
I would like to comment, to ask one thing to Tony. I already read your proposal of these old professionals, but it wasn't clear to me whether you are proposing this to be let's say a new grade, like students or graduate student members, or you are proposing this to be like an affinity group, like young professionals are.
Well, I think my idea was, and these are to be discussed, of course, that it would be initially very informal and that eventually it might become an affinity group. For that, you'd have to get, you know, approval at a very high level. But initially, it could just be a Region 8 sort of experiment at a very informal level while the discussion goes on. And hopefully we could catch some of these people before they decide, well, they've retired or they're about to ride, let's leave IEEE and do something else. Catch them, and they're very valuable because they have a lot of experience, and you know, if we can keep them, it's good for IEEE. If this idea would nicely move on and develop and so on, then in due course, when ready, Region 8 at a higher level might choose to make a formal request to go up to MGA and TAB and work its way up to the board of directors, and in maybe 200 or 300 years time, maybe they will.
Okay. Okay. No, when I read it, my concern was, you think the name you gave to this possible group, prospective group, is adequate with the word old there? Are people going to be happy to be called like that? Old?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I mean, we used to have, gold members, remember, once upon a time, but they became young members. And
Yes.
apparently the young members they don't mind being called young professionals. So why not the old professionals can be called silver members for our, state of our hair?
Yeah, okay.
These are just ideas to throw at the wall.
No, I think any idea is welcome, and I think we will further analyze your idea. And maybe what you just said is the way to go. It could be a Region 8, let's say, experiment. See what happens with that, and then, if needed, or if consider something useful for the rest of the world within IEEE in 200 years, as you mentioned, and maybe it will be established. Anyway, there is now another way of going through, which is the special interest group that is Costas was promoting from his committee, the GUOS committee within MGA. So I don't know if Costas is here or yet, or if he left the meeting. Costa is still here. So Costa, if you want to comment in this, well, maybe Costas is not well informed about this idea of yours. So I can share the email you sent, and maybe we can discuss with him if this special interest group is something that could be useful for your idea.
I think that we have available a huge amount of experienced people who in these OPs, if that's why they're to be called, and they can be very valuable. And I'm thinking that if they object to being called old, maybe they aren't the kind of people we want.
Maybe we can call them young at heart professionals.
Too many letters, then it'll be a great big long acronym, and nobody will remember it. Anyway, there's the idea. So
Yes. Thank you for sending us your ideas, and thank you for your really interesting work in history. I personally, as you know, I'm very much interested in history. So all you do with history is most welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So our next person in the list is Victor.
Yes.
Would you like to speak?
Yes. I have I have, in addition to my report, two remarks. The first remark that is the following: although many countries in Region 8, especially in Europe, started to leave some confinement, there is a general advice addressed to seniors having more than 65 years age to continue to limit their displacements, as they are exposed more than others to catch the virus. So I think that there is no hope to continue our face-to-face activities in the very near future. So I think that life member affinity groups will continue their virtual meetings, and I already advise them to diffuse their announcements for their meetings to all life member affinity groups in the region. This is a thing that the life member affinity group in France had done, and it was very successful, because they in their meeting of June, there were 75 participants, 75 registration, not only from France, but from all Europe and even the Middle East. The second remark, which I already sent in letters to section chairs, and I repeat it now because it is very useful in this difficult time, that I ask them to let their different operating units to work with life member affinity groups in submitting common projects, asking for grants from life member committee and the foundation funds. This is also an activity that do not need presential face-to-face meeting. This is all, and I thank you.
Thank you, Victor. And yes, I think most probably everybody got your email, and I guess it's not needed, but I would like just to stress the point that the type of support, financial support that Victor is referring to is coming from the IEEE Life Member Committee. It's not a Region 8 committee, it's the IEEE Life Member Committee. And they are quite generous, so that's another way of funding an event. If you would like to get the help of the life member affinity group in the local sections and so on, and this is something that as subcommittee chairs you can also share with the local units when you contact them.
Yes, but I add, Magdalena, that if they make a common proposal with life members in a project, making use of their experience, it will have more chance to win, to be accepted, because there are life members that are who are participating in it.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for bringing that point. Thank you then. And if there are no comments from Victor, are there any other comment for Victor? If not, I'll move to Vinko.
Oh, hello everyone. Well, I have been quiet so far, but I have many comments. We will keep that in follow-up. Yeah, that was in order to save time. But a little bit about young professionals' perspective in all of this. Well, in the first half of the year, we practically canceled everything that we have been arranging so far. It has been really lots of events to be canceled, but so far I think our costs are still 0 or 200 for some streaming video. But then after that, we started to do something in this situation, what we can pull out of it. And we started with getting young professionals affinity group chairs and wider than that to send their home office photographs. So that was a very simple way to try to engage them and to show everybody that we are not alone. And at the same time, we are not, you know, most comfortably suited, but still the work is pretty much getting done as before. And that was really good response. We had 36 photos. We had those from 22 countries. And between the countries, they are always from all the interesting cities, you know, not the capitals anymore, but people are really distributed and scattered. So that was April. And then in May, we kicked off our own series of webinars. We call this IEEE Connecting Experts program. And it's pretty much, well, in a similar as any other webinar, but it's really tailored for young professionals. So that means a little bit of technology, a little bit of career, a little bit of entrepreneurship. And we also divided it to those 3 categories, which is like the majority of the talk is fitting to a particular one. And then we also had added a 4th category, which are space talks. If you remember that Young Professionals in Space program, last year in UAE in Dubai, and the year before it was in Barcelona. This year it should have been in Porto, but this is what we are pulling it off right now in a virtual manner. So we have acquired a lot of experience in this one, and I have tried to put a lot of it in this report that we have sent. If you have time, you can look at it. There are many pictures, I promise, about it. So a little bit about statistics. In May, we had 6 talks, and those we practically managed on our own. And one talk was from Women in Engineering, from Anna herself. So thank you, Anna. And another one was from Swedish Affinity Group, well, from Samart as a section chair. And then in June, we have doubled the number of webinars. but also introduced many more affinity groups to join us in there. So that was Lebanon, Denmark, Turkey, Sweden again, and then for July we also have Norway and Denmark again that they are asking to join this. So this was a really good way of engagement for the affinity groups, and finally we could distribute what we do to the local part as well. Well, this part is extremely flexible. You know, every month is different than the month before. It really reflects the situation in the world and in the certain countries, and you can see that during, for example, during working hours, it was better 2 months ago, and now during working hours, it's a terrible timing for the giving talks and so on. So we are learning a lot every month, and we are trying to be as flexible as it is. In the meantime, we have pushed the entrepreneurship part. In this way, we were very lucky with the timing, as this was the time for the social media part of the competition, and we had really high engagement from the people on this one. Well, too high. Some of we had like 20% of fake accounts, so we were dealing with that and so on. But these were this was happening, in fact, during March, so it was really at the middle of the epidemics. But anyway, so far it's going pretty well. We have kicked another round of the Entrepreneurship Week. So it's shaped that we are opening call for ambassadors, and then when the ambassadors apply and be granted the status, they organize Entrepreneurship Week in their local section by the end of the year. And for that, we had 133 application for the ambassadors, and they are from 33 sections. So this is really good number for us. It's higher than last year. We will see after the filtering, of course, because none of all of them, some of them just want to participate, but they don't go to the implementation phase. So we will see at the end, but this is pretty much it. And then finally, as Maciej was also telling, our main focus and main concern is the organization of the SIP Congress. So everything we had accumulated over these few months, all the experience, all the connections, we will try to imbue the SIP Congress with it, and to get as much as possible, because this one will be extremely unique. Nothing like this happened before, and I hope nothing like this one will happen again. Well, at least not for this reason. Perhaps it turns out to be a very good success story in the end, and I hope it will. So Maciej already gave us a few words about it, so I will not extend your time. Just to mention again, it will be in September and not in August as we originally planned. And we have weekly meetings. I expect by the end of the June that we will put all the frames there, and so all the sections and all the student branches and affinity groups will know what to expect at this event. So that's about it. I've also listened to all your talks, and for example, what Adil said about the list of events, we are also preparing the calendar for this Connecting Experts talks, and we are maintaining it, updating it regularly. We also have another calendar for the global young professionals instructional webinars, as they call it. So all this part can be quickly, either copy pasted to your larger website of the events, or whatever we choose to do it with it. But we are maintaining it from our part. And I also hear that the young professionals are building something on their own to resemble what is your idea. And I think it's a great idea indeed. Then again, David was talking about the standards webinar. We were also communicating with him to attach this Connecting Experts logo to this, to put it that way, and stream it to our members. And then, well, I forgot to mention this, but if you read the report, there are really a lot of words about utilizing the social media. And for example, if in those webinars of ours, we have, well, 20 to 40 participants in WebEx call, not more than that. But then you have 200 to 400 people that were clicking on the video after the, that the session has already been done and finished. So people are really, utilizing this flexibility today and the recordings that are available, and we see that it's working really well. For the entrepreneurship, Mario, we will get in touch with you again about collaboration with Action for Industry ambassadors and sections to join their effort. And then we also have women in engineering taking part in our programs. Maria is giving talk in a few days, and Yumna will give talk in July. And then finally, we have prepared loads of articles for Region 8 today, but this part always comes at last. So sorry, guys, I've not been very good before, but we will send it again and retailor a little bit of the outdated content, and yeah, we will stay in touch. Well, so that was, let's say, up to the present day, and it was really a crisis response package from ours. And we see that perhaps the second half of the year is becoming what we already, everyone practically on this call agreed, that it should be transferred to the local meetings and perhaps cross-sectional meetings with that. And for now, as I mentioned, we have spent $200 in total. Even from the entrepreneurship grant, we have spent $1,500. And we have also asked them to prolong this project to the next year so we can spend funds more in a better way. But the only way we can spend funds by the rest of the year is, I see, this local events organization. Okay, well, thank you very much for listening to me. I'm also open to all your comments.
Thank you, Vinko. That was a very good presentation from your side, and also very nice set of comments about other people that have spoken during this meeting. So I think we have still two people to give the floor to, and I would like to do that. So we are running a bit short on time. Actually, we only have theoretically 3 minutes. So if there are comments, urgent comments for Vinko, we will take them. Otherwise, I would like to move to the people who didn't have yet a chance to speak. Okay, looks like I'm allowed to go forward, Vinko, so thanks again for that. So essentially, I didn't give the floor to Adam, to the treasurer. I hope that Adam is still there. Yes, he is. So Adam, would you like to say something? Yeah, and
Can I interrupt for a minute? So if we are
yes,
going
of course.
to
Yes,
the
yes.
subcommittee, we're still missing humanitarian activities subcommittee.
I know. The problem is that he's at the end of the list because he's listed at WebEx MGA Nigeria. So
you are aware of that. Okay.
After Adam, I will give the floor to Gianfunso.
Hi everyone.
Hi Adam.
What I'd like to report is that we have just spent 16% of our allocated budget for 2020, which is very little in comparison to the similar period in the last year. We have over $1 million in our liquid assets, that means in our bank accounts. Regarding the issues which are important to remember at the moment is one is something which came out from the audit, which we have passed successfully, and there were only minor findings or recommendations, but something new coming this year is the fact that all the conferences which we organize, which we financially co-sponsor in Region 8 must have also Region 8 reports in proportion of expenses and income. So there's a little bit more work, therefore, on the interface between conference organizers and Region 8 at the moment. What else is important is also that this year, most likely this year, the next generation finance systems or banking systems will come in, which will replace our CB concentration banking system, which will allow us to conduct directly transactions or more directly transactions through it. That will affect all of us and the way we do our business. We already are using Concur for claims. There is an important issue there. I'm involved at the at the center level, headquarter levels, the committee levels, in consulting the group developing it, what needs to be done from perspective of regions and sections. We have managed to achieve certain changes in Concur system as a result of that input. Now the next stage is to make certain that the changes in next generation banking system will also be useful for our operations, for our local operations, not just for the reporting of the central expenses in a overall IEEE financial system. Now, one of the primary expenses which I expect to be from now on reimbursing or sending money for will be related to this hybrid meetings, and here we need to follow up the procedures which IEEE needs to follow. So for these expenses are not have to be recorded, have to have some receipts. So please remember about that. We have discussed at the SIP Congress meetings what kind of tools we could use. I feel that Vinco, for example, has presented a list of such tools recently, and the input from that group will allow us probably to select a selection of most suitable tools for these meetings. We'll be very willing to support usage of these more sophisticated tools than WebEx is, if required. But do not try to venture on your own in a way in trying to hire some rent some exotic, let's call it, tools for your events. If they are local, that's fine, but one of the words of caution which came in during our recent discussions about that is that many people will be reluctant to install unknown piece of software on their computers if that piece of software requires a number of access rights to your data. So any questions on this? Thank you.
Thank you, Adam. Are there any comments for Adam or questions for Adam? Okay, looks everybody's happy right now. So any further question, I guess they will come through email. So this allows me to give the floor to John Funso, although we hear him before, but now I am inviting you to express whatever plans you have for the Humanitarian Activities Subcommittee. John? John, are you there? Hello? John?
Hello.
John, your voice is breaking. No. Maybe you can shut down your video even if we lose your face from our screens, and maybe we will have a better audio.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, much better.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. And on behalf of the humanitarian activities, I greet all of us. And basically, we've been working on remote monitoring and evaluation of humanitarian groups in the region 8. We've been using the social media tools for engagement of the site groups in each section. And that is how we came about so many activities between January and now. And then going forward, we would like to collaborate with the nearest organized units for membership drive using humanitarian activities as hybrid things. Also, we'll be featuring virtual exhibition or success stories on the humanitarian projects. By the way, Region 8 has the highest of COVID-19 supported projects from the headquarters. We have over 20 projects. And going forward, we'll also be participating in humanitarian conferences. We've done one, IEEE, and we've submitted paper to GHTC, that's Global Humanitarian Technology Conference, US, by October. So the key actions for the subcommittee are, we focused now on location-based PPE production, that's the nose and face masks and sanitizers for free. So we have site groups engage local communities in their sections, avoiding human-to-human contact. We have pre-recorded videos for training purposes and on how to make easy PPEs, that's personal protective equipment to prevent the COVID-19. Then we're acting on e-learning content for the students. We've deployed some already, while some are pending, to avoid brain drain. We also focus on the online training workshops for the workforce, who are the entrepreneurs or the regularly employed, but because of COVID-19, they cannot go to the offices, they work from home. They need special training on the particular tools that will enhance their productivity. So we have also initiated that. And we have access to life-changing motivations for the senior citizens and the disabled. That's all we have right now ongoing, and for the next quarter. And then towards the last quarter of the year, we're planning to get fully engaged in the IHTC 2021 for the region. Thank you so much. Can I have questions?
Thank you, John. And yes, I think this moment is perfect for you to organize activities with your subcommittee. I think if we were appreciative of what means humanitarian activities within the frame of IEEE before, we are much more appreciative right now. So my hope is that you will get a lot of people participating in those activities. And I think we all hope that that will happen. Are there any comments for Jon? Okay, so I think now everybody had the opportunity to speak, to express their points of view or to share their plan activities for the subcommittee they are involved with. If there are any other further comments for whoever, you are most welcome to do it now. I see that we are losing people. That means that people needed to go back to other activities. So I will not like to finish the meeting with very few people. So let me just say thank you to everybody who has participated today. And we will send, I think we are not going to have time to wrap up, but I'm confident that we will be able to send you a good summary of what was discussed here. And the main ideas that we have discussed here is organizing these distributed hybrid meetings, or continue, if you are not able to do that, with the online meetings, and helping the operational units, local operational units, to do that. But anyway, as I said, if you want to share any further comments, we can stay here for some more minutes, and then we can close the meeting. So Antonio and Nana, I will ask your help if you see any raised hand that I'm not able to see. Please.
No raised hands. Lunch is waiting.
Okay. Not for people in Spain. We eat later than you people in Europe. So I understand that for you it's an important thing to go now and eat.
Magdalena, Dora was asking if everybody can switch on their camera so that she can take a screenshot of everybody.
Yes, yes, okay.
The new
So
way
just
of group photo.
see like what Costas is doing. He's trying to look nicer. So ready for the group photo. So here we are. Done. Adil, you did it already?
One more because it wasn't okay. One more.
Okay.
Okay.
Wearing the best hat.
From my side, we're ready.
Okay, so here we are.
Right.
So just let us know when you are done with your photos.
Okay.
You don't need so serious. You can speak while they take the photographs if you want.
And speak.
Yeah.
You said cheese or IEEE?
Afraid to say the magic word of IEEE.
The famous
The
singer.
Yes, yes.
George Michael, the famous singer.
Now George is a very shy guy, you know.
Yes.
So, George Michael, we would like to have your face in the screen.
Now he's there. I can see him.
Now he's there. Okay. And who else? The video is not on. David Lowe, your video is not on.
But he's the law.
Yeah, I know. He's the law.
Good one.
And Miguel is not there either.
And
I think I have everyone that's online until now. I will post it on Region 8 social media, so feel free to tag yourself and share this new reality that we're living.
Thank you for that, Dora. So then, if there are no further comments, thank you for being here. And you will receive in the next few days a summary of the meeting or a wrap up of the meeting. And most welcome to include any idea that is not there and we miss. Let us know. And we look forward to your coming in.
Goodbye.
So bye-bye then. Bye.
Bye. Take care.
Thank you for being here.
Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Goodbye, all.